Here we have an RX7 RoadRunner. Has the original luminous on it and some other stuff that I'm working on. We're going to be replacing this light box because it's causing the headlight not to work. Something got cooked. This box is about to be replaced. This is the luminor lights. Seems to see that they changed how they work, where these were like connections, and I can kind of see how they wouldn't really hold on over time. They switched this to a box now, and this box now is replacement for that box. You can see all the plugs on the end. It comes with a bunch of plugs you have to build here. But what they changed on this with the RoadRunner stuff is they changed how these end plugs work. And now you can see it's a lot better of a design. It's actually more like a Gillette cable. It's more connected here. It's heat shrink wrapped. It's tighter. It's less likely for like this, how this is bulging out here, to like rip off. Or you can see this one was re-glued by the customer. We did new brake pads on it, put ceramic, kind of a bitch. True the rotors. Fixing up the steering dampener. I think this thing has like 1,200 miles on it, or 1,300 miles. I mean, overall, it's not a bad scooter, but we're gonna be updating the light kit. And then here's the new replacement box for there, because something in here went, and I don't know what. So we're just gonna replace the box. Tested all these voltages, couldn't narrow it down, was getting kind of frustrated. That's what happens when you're troubleshooting some of these scooters. So it's gonna be interesting when I have to figure out how I'm going to be removing this safely and then reapplying it. So that's gonna be a trick in itself, to make sure I execute that properly. Because once again, I've never done it before. I don't think anyone else really has. Like I said, it's a new updated kit for this RX7. Not many people own this scooter because of its price point. But we will show you as I go along here and piece this together, and with the frustrations, to see if it's gonna work out to my favor or if it's gonna be one of those things that I'm gonna regret doing. So we will find out here as we progress. So wish me luck. We are going to update on the RoadRunner RX7, the RoadGlow. That's what they call it. They have some fancy naming for it all too. I'm not exactly what it's called. I think it's like Electroluminescence, I believe. That's what the light kit works, where there's LEDs inside this like electrostatic paper. This is the original light box that runs all of that connects through the converter, the down converter, because this steps it. So it makes it DC to DC, but it makes it, you know, down steps the voltage. So then that way it won't blow this. The new one is over here, and this is the new box. This is what was sent to us with the new update. It's a new inverter. Obviously it's metal now. It's not wrapped. I might silicone the two ends here, just to make sure it's a little bit more waterproof and stronger if someone pulls on the cables. But what we have to do here is go through this nightmare here, and I'm going to have to disconnect all these cables and pull everything through and undo all this wiring, which I'm not looking forward to, because it's going to take forever to unwrap this and do it correctly to make it clean. But the big changes that they've made is these connectors are like this, and you can see how they're thick and big for how they attach. Well, what was happening is, you can see the customer here had this ripped off. They glued it, and this would hold on here, and this is that. So the sensors were like this and thicker, laying out, and then that's what will cause them to break off. Kind of makes sense. They redesigned them completely. In the new ones now, you can see the newer plug style and just how it's set up. So I'm just trying to be careful with this stuff because I don't want to wreck it. But when we're looking here, you're gonna see how the new one's gonna go on, and the new plug, see, and then I think it's gonna be a lot cleaner because it's gonna tuck through this little hole and go in there, and then cleaner, and then hopefully this is better design, and I'll last and be able to take it instead of these huge clips sitting on the outside. So that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be kind of a bitch. So a multi-piece kind of thing as we go along. You can just see here the wires and the tightness. I'm gonna try to clean this up. We'll film as much as we can in the pieces that are worth seeing. You can see over here in the back when we replace this, how this is gonna be folded off. So we're gonna peel this all off, peel this off, clean it with rubbing alcohol, clean up the scooter. We just put new brake pads on, trued the rotors, so should be in good shape. Probably needs new tires sooner or later. This is one of the first RXs that were on the market. You know, it's not one of the second revisions, so it's gonna have the new update. But overall, really well built scooter. I think this one has 1,200 miles on it. Cannot really say anything bad about it. A little too big for me. Battery pack weighs too much. Nami over there. And here we are. So this is what we're gonna get done. And we're gonna go through it all. And we're trying to make the new updated light here. And as you can see, I'm gonna have to clean the heck out of this thing before I go forward. So, well, you can see here's the beginning of the nightmare. Unplug these cables, really tough. Make sure you do not forget which one is what for back and front motors. Pretty easy to do, so you know what controllers. I'm gonna try to clean up all these wires. We can just see it's just a disaster in here. So we're gonna slowly start taking apart these. These are the luminescent clips, and do that. And then we're gonna proceed forward. Battery connectors. Some of the stuff is a little intertangled in here. I'm gonna try to clean this all up and make it more organized. See if I can figure out some stuff, like for example, like look at this. This is like the 6-pin that comes up through here, and this and that, and it's just all disorganized, you know. I try to always reconnect stuff and be careful because I don't have a lot of I don't always have wire guides. So, you know, I get them sometimes from the manufacturer, but interpreting all this information can be a lot. But see, you can see the customer's done some stuff to it before because some stuff's unzip tied. But we're going to clean this all up, go through all this, and get these cables organized because this is just a disaster. So as we go along doing this, we'll show you scenes of it. But what we're going to do is we have to take off the 2 side covers here. And I'm going to clean this up too. It's kind of really dirty and nasty. And then we'll go forward from there, because first what I want to do is get all the old wires out, see where everything is, then we'll peel off all the stuff, clean it up, re-stick it, rerun the wires. But like even here, through the back and through the side, I'm gonna have to fish wires through the side of the frame of the body, undo all this stupid wiring cabling that you can see here and stuff. That's the protective coating. And then there's even stuff underneath. The front fork will show you as we go through the whole process, but it's gonna be quite a doozy. But what I'm going to do is these cables, I'm gonna actually label them. I always like to do that, so then that way I don't have any confusion if I move too much around. So I'm gonna mark these. I usually mark it like painter's tape or something, and then that way I'll know which is what. And then we'll go forward from there. So I marked all the power cables here, you know, with tape so I don't forget them. We're replacing this box with the new box. We already replaced this light box to try to fix the headlight, and still was having issues with that, so we'll have to troubleshoot that as we go. So as you can see here, it is just a huge cluster. I'm not really sure on how the new ones are going to go, but we have to set those all up. But I'm just using a little pick here. Makes it easier to undo these. Because then we are going to basically, I'm going to undisconnect that brick out of here if I can get it out. Smooth up some room, because I'm going to have to reorganize all these cables as we're doing it. But as you can see, I'm going to try to clean this up and do a little better of a job than how it came from the factory. I mean, I think the customer also goofed with this before too. So, you know, he was having his controllers were overheating. So when they were overheating, he put fans on the heat sinks, and then we also did some other underlining stuff with some thermal tape. And we might put down some thermal paste like they use for computers, because it is not really working out. Wow, the way they did this. These cables and plugs are just without a pick. So, but yeah, we'll show you more here as we go along. So we have it all disconnected now. We're going to disconnect it from the power. This is just for the conversion brick, where it steps it down and changes it. you know, from 9 to 36 volt, 12 to 3 amp, and that's to run the Luminites or the Luminous or whatever they call it. So I got all disconnected. When I redo this, I'm probably going to try to drag the cables up and do that. I do have to undo all of this wiring stuff here. So this is going to be the downside. But we have the old brick out. You can see the new one is heat sinked. It's metal. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the first step here and what we have to do as we progress through this cable mess. And like I said, I'm going to try to reorganize this and make it flow a little bit nicer so it's not as big of a cluster. A lot of the wires are like looped underneath each other, or like you can see this has been opened before by the customer, so we're just going to reattach that. I do like how the batteries are removable on these, because then you're not scared of getting shocked or something. I always try to make sure the power and the capacitors inside the controllers are drained too. But you can see this huge plug. I mean, really well built with a lot of this stuff. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's just wired really tightly and confusing. I'm going to have to check this wire here, reorganize all this. I won't probably show all that. You'll just see it all organized eventually. But now we have to pull all of the old Luminous stuff as I peel it off. Not really sure how it's going to work out. Hopefully it goes smooth. I'm not really sure. Sometimes things just don't work out how I hope. Like the Namis I'm doing right now, where things are just not working, loosening up that front end. So I'm going to clean this off because it's kind of dirty. There's a lot of like sticky stuff. I don't know if it's soda, something. I don't know. But I'm going to clean that all off and then some rubbing alcohol, get this all set up. And then we'll show us unwrapping the wires. And then after we unwrap the wires, we'll start playing the game and figuring out what we have to do. I mean, this is the one Luminous one here on the side. But then it comes down and it ricochets through and, you know, and comes down to this side. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do this properly as I go along. So we will learn together. So we removed the side plate, as you can see. All right, disconnected that so the wires don't get messed up. But as we're going in here, you're going to see there's a bolt there, or screw. We have to disconnect those because that's what we're going through. It's going to be a lot of work. So I finally got it all unwrapped. It took forever. Make sure you try to remember which one's what. I'm just going to kind of wing it as I go back. You can see here, like this was even kind of pressed. These are the old connector style. Kind of the big flaw with them is since they're off, this is where they re-glued it. And they stick here. The new ones now are just, it's going to be a clean plug that's going to go in and be hidden, so this won't be as exposed to rip off or bump it. It's kind of the downside. So we're going to clean this off a little. I already did a little bit, and then I'm going to start peeling. No idea how it's going to go. Hopefully it goes smooth. So here begins the wire mess. I disconnected some of these. I might run them the same way as before, or maybe do something unique, but I'm going to try to follow the same thought pattern and thought processes. So I'm going to really try to watch that. So I'm going to try to do front piece, and then we're going to do the top pole, and then we'll show you from there. So I have no idea how this is going to peel. You know, like this is like glued on there. I have no idea what's going to happen here. So these look like really thin stickers. And I'm not trying to use any chemicals or anything. I always like try to be careful about wires, electronics. All right, so I'm only doing this because we have the new one. Wow, this film is really thin. Just tore there, as you can see. That's a mistake. Just trying to save some of it because I wanted to maybe use it on something else, but I guess not. You know, like put on another scooter or something. Look cool. Because I have that old light box, but this is peeling a lot better than I anticipated. There's a little cleanage up here, but that means it's nice and clean. Now we're getting to the plug. It looks like it was really glued down. Oof. All right, so there's some residue here from the plug that we're gonna have to clean off and scrape. I'm gonna probably clean this all with rubbing alcohol and everything else, but you won't see those stages, but I'm going to clean it with rubbing alcohol. I try not to use any like brake cleaner or anything. It's kind of too abrasive. Rubbing alcohol, you're kind of pushing it too. Be careful. You can rip off paint and all sorts of junk. But I'm trying to be careful to the paint job here, because it is not my scooter. So, but yeah, I'm going to clean this off, but that's the one side. So at least we have an idea now how it's going to peel. Went a lot easier than I thought. So we'll show you each side as we go along. Well, here we're doing the other side. There's some zip ties you have to disconnect. There's one in here I have to get yet that's deep. I'm going to try to do that after I peel this off. We saw how easy it peeled before, but it's pretty much, it doesn't matter. You're not going to save it. It's so thin. Yeah, this is like the thinnest sticker ever. Running me back to my retail days. I used to work at a GameStop, peeling stickers. I could care less if I save any of this. I'm over it. Alright, so that just broke off again. You're going to see all the adhesive and this nastiness, but we're going to clean that up. But just wanted to show you how it's going to be removed. But then, like I said, this wire, you're going to have to unzip tie and figure out how it all goes through. So I might rewire them a better way if I think, but we'll see as we go along. So when we're working on the back here, I'm going to try to pull this cable through. It might work out, it might not, because there's a lot in here and it's a pretty big cable end. So I have no idea. So I'm going to have to disconnect this off, take off the front piece, and then we're going to peel this all off and we'll go from there. Remove the piece. It's 3mm hex. So now this will just slide through for the back. We'll do the same on the other side. We're gonna have to peel this RoadRunner off. I'm not really sure on how that's gonna work out. But we can just grab it somewhere and just start peeling because we have new ones. So if we wreck anything, it doesn't really matter. This is the initial. I'm using my fingernail because then I won't scratch it. You know, fingernails not as much as a razor blade. So if I can get my fingernail underneath it, I prefer that. You know, fingernail has a pretty good hardness, but not hard enough to like scratch stuff. So I like try to keep this pretty professional. So, I thought I was getting such a good rip. Because then it leaves less adhesive in there, but looks like I fucked up. Doing what I said I didn't want to do. Alright, and the main reason is when I'm ripping this, you can see this here, I left some adhesive here, so now I got to clean that off. But if I peel it well, you can use old adhesive here, sticker trick, you know, same thing over here. I'm going to clean this all. And then I got to center it too, because I get like one shot at doing this. You know, once you stick it, so you want to make sure it's all clean. And we're going to all do that on the same day. Because this is multi kind of day project, because sometimes I get a little frustrated. And then like, look, now we're on this part. So these look like they're super glued. See? Let's use a pick. It peeled off pretty well. And then here is the cable end. So when we redo it, they won't have the ends on. We actually add the plugs, so it should make it easier to pull the wires through. Boom, bada bing. And then we have the other one. So, and let's get to this, just to show you this side, since we've already gotten this far. And we can clean it up afterwards, because today is just the day of peeling. jar. And just like before, every time, these always are kind of like welded on here, or more adhesive. See, this time I actually kind of broke it off a little bit easier. And then we are. And that's peeled. This is a razor blade, but I try to be careful. I don't want to scratch it. This is the side that was damaged. That's why there's no plug right here, as you can see, as I'm just peeling. Forgot to do this. Because you have to take off all these little pieces. That's why it takes a while. It should just pop out, but it doesn't seem to want to come. Alright. It's like with any of this crap, it never always works out how you hope. Really? I was pulling even too. And the trick is if you keep tension on it and you keep it tight like this, as you peel, the adhesive should come with it. I loosened that back piece, but it's just not coming off. I have to monkey with it. I just don't want to break it. I have no idea why it's not coming off. But I have to remove it. So, there we have it. So, we'll clean this up, wipe it all down, and then we'll move forward. The new ones are kind of nice because I can lay down everything and then run the wires afterwards. It's kind of nice. So, we'll see how it goes. Got it removed, pushed out, a little screwdriver in here. Pull this through. Like I said, when we redo it, we have just the wire and then we have to put the plug on, so it'll be easier. Peeling this stuff off hasn't been the hardest. It's actually been pretty easy. So, only problem is too, is like when I line this up, I got like one shot. There's absolutely no room for error. That's what the scary part about this whole project is the amount of room for error I have is minuscule. So if I do make some errors, it is just good game. There's no going back. So I get why sometimes people want someone like me or a professional more like to work on something, but you know, everyone doesn't realize running a business and how expensive it can be. And then the underlying cost of insurance now has skyrocketed to work on electric scooters because everybody in their idiot ass is getting caught on fire or who knows what. You know, it's kind of frustrating, especially as a business owner, where you're spending all your time and money into something. And, you know, I'm just competing against other Chinese resellers or other people to provide shit service, and then people still go shop with them and then ignore me and go, oh, you cost too much. Well, I'm not rich. You know, I don't have $1 million. Even Voro and other people are way bigger companies. I'm just a guy and another couple people. So, but I do get to do the fun stuff like this. So, and I'm just trying to be gentle, less scratch, less adhesive. But we're gonna clean this all up and then we'll go from there. So we're gonna peel off the other one. But the new one here, as you can see how this has a solid. This is different. It's probably so you can go around the wires. I'm assuming they must lay this before they do all the wires in the factory and then they plug everything in. That's what I'm assuming. I have no real idea. So we're just gonna peel this off. Of course. As much as I don't like using a razor blade, it seems to be the only way to get under this stuff. Because it's not... When you get it going, it's not too bad. Or not. It's going really awesome. I swear anytime I film myself, I make a million more mistakes than I do when I'm just doing it. This Band-Aid I have on probably doesn't help either. An alarm for something. Probably some meeting or some reminder from some repair. I'll have to go look later. Yeah, this is not peeling that well. Could be from it being old in the sun and everything else, but it's not peeling smooth. All the other ones peeled off a lot better. This just doesn't want to seem to peel. It doesn't peel like a normal sticker either. Just like randomly adhesive parts will be stronger in other moments and then you can't really pull it. I'll probably speed this scene up. You guys don't need to see me doing this. See, it just doesn't want to. Thought it was gonna be some smooth video shot, but no. The reality of when you work on this shit. Yeah, this is just... And I can't take a razor blade down the whole side of it because I'll scratch the crap out of it. Well, we already know how those come off, so we're just gonna rip it. I mean, I probably could have used a heat gun, but I don't want to heat up shit. I'm always scared sometimes you'll melt something you shouldn't be fucking doing and other shit. See, this is how I hope it was going to peel. Because it's kind of like stretchy. see where he hit it one time with some damage here on the pole. But it's a big LED sticker. It's kind of neat. It's like, dude, how did I scratch that? I didn't. It's my fingernails. Let's go like that. Key to this is take your freaking time. Don't rush something. Sometimes I don't always coat the best because I spend more time, but I'd rather do good work. And then also there's just a realistic price people are willing to pay you. If I was in a big city or LA or something, it'd be different, but I don't want to live in LA. Lived there before. It's terrible. Oh, can see the disappointment in me. Because after this, I'm going to clean everything off with rubbing alcohol. Make sure there's no adhesive, no binding oils for my hands that got all over this. And then we're going to lay them down. And after I lay them down, we're going to wire it up. It's going to be a freaking nightmare doing that at the end. Figuring out how I'm going to run the cables. And then also too, like I was stating before, some of the cables aren't labeled, so like I have to figure out what's negative and what's positive once I plug it all in, so that'll have to be the end game. And then everyone will get to know for the future, because I'll have the answer. But, yeah. I think this is one of the first RX7s to get this done. And I can see why. I'm in hours on this thing because I take my time and almost there. Looks kind of naked. And then I have to figure out how I'm going to lay them too, because you get one shot. And once I stick it down, it's stuck. If I have it misaligned, she's going to stay misaligned because I am not going to wreck the LED stickers. Alright, so we cleaned it off. I'm going to clean it down and then we'll proceed to the next step. We're going to lay down the first piece here at the front. A little scared. Because I don't know, like, does it go this high up to here? You know, like I have to make some critical decisions here. You look where it's at. So, you know, I'm probably just gonna space it in here nicely like this. And I'll probably lay it down flat first. I'm getting this dirty. Should be careful. Should clean my fingers off. But that's what I'm gonna do. Let's get this cleaned off a little. I don't want to get it dirty. Alright, I just cleaned off my hands too. That's why I'm kind of dumbfounded here. Alright, you can see it's got 3M. New connector plug. I've laid a lot of stickers in my life, so I have a little bit of experience, but I can tell you right now, when we do this, it is a one-trick pony. There's no redoozies. There's no re-peeling off. There's nothing. So when I make a commitment, it has to be made. So, like we know here, we don't know if that's center. We think it is, but we don't know. It's pretty darn close. Just trying to be careful here, because I think it slips underneath the light a little. Nah, we're gonna go down a little. That's what I was trying to tell you. You don't really get. Thinking the gap will look better there. Because like I said, once I commit, I commit. Yeah, I think that's better. I'm gonna try to even it out. Ooh, let's not tear it. It's pretty sticky. All right, so it's pretty close, so that's what we're gonna go with. I'm just gonna slowly work away from the center. These are the tricky ones because the cable is up here, which I could have removed, but I'm pretty satisfied with that. It's microscopic off. That's only because I'm a perfectionist, but it's pretty freaking close. So I'm gonna take that as a victory. I'm just slowly working my way through. You know, push always away so you don't get any bubbles. Not sure if I'm going to heat gun it lightly at a low temp. I'm just concerned for longevity through the weather. But I call it a victory. I think I got it high up enough because I want it high up here, you know? And then everything else. So, but like I said, I'm probably going to low temp this. We'll maybe show that, but I'm kind of scared. I'm going to have to talk to somebody. I don't want to wreck the LEDs inside, but I think it might help with the adhesive if I just go around like the edges lightly with some low temp. So, but yeah, there we are. It's actually pretty even. It's a little wider on this end, microscopically. I'm not going to deny it, but I count that as a victory because I'm working blind. And I mean, I could have laid down painter's tape and stuff, but I'm not trying to waste 4 hours on this already when I already got so much time in it. So, but yeah, looking good. I'm removing the luminaire cables for the front. Maybe I should have mapped them out. I don't know, but we'll see how I reorganize everything at the end. But these cables are all trash. New cables. They have GTS plugs that we have to figure out the negative and positive, but this makes it easier for running. I'm not sure if some are longer than others. I haven't really looked through it all. That's something I'm kind of analyzing. And look, kind of just realized that right now, like this must be the short one for down low and those must be the others. So I'm gonna have to figure all these out and we'll map these out. And then once I figure out what I have, then I will go from there. All right, get 7 total wires. There's 4 that are similar and the 2 long ones. I'm finding out that the 2 long ones are for the front 2, I'm believing. These will work for the side RoadGlow. This one's for the short RoadRunner on the side. That one's easy to do. And I'm assuming these are for the 2 back. So, and one's for the RoadGlow and then one's for the front. So we'll figure it out as we go along. These are guesstimates here. If it changes as we go, you'll find out, but that's kind of the current thought process I have. So we're going to take the 2 medium cables. Remember, this end goes towards the RoadGlow. There's 2 crevices. There's a top one and a bottom one. Go through where all the wires are on the bottom. You don't want to go by the other stuff, I'm assuming, because I don't think it's protected the same way, because the cover piece slides into here. the metal piece does when the mount goes up. So that like slides into that crevice, so you don't want anything in there, okay? So we do that. Remember to have the JTS connector end where we're gonna put the pins in on this side. Then I think that should work. But that's how that is. We're gonna do both sides. That's one of the 4 that are the same. And then the other 4 of the same, the other 2 out of the same 4 that were the same, we'll figure out as we go. But I'm pretty sure that these are correct for this, because this looks like this will match flawlessly up to the glow. So, that's how the new plug goes in. There's arrows, so don't mess it up. Looks pretty tight too. I'm always scared. Well, it really clicks, but make sure you match the arrows. But you know, I'm always scared when I do new stuff. So I just did that one. It's kind of a big boo-boo because I don't want to pull on it too heavy, but I just need an idea of which one's the right cable length, because this is one of the 4 cables that are the same, and I'm just making sure that I predicted right, and it looks like I did, because if I bundle this up and glue up in here, we'll have enough slack. So yeah, I'm not going to unpull that connector. That's pretty tight. We're just going to leave it. Good thing I didn't make a mistake there, because yeah, then we'll wrap that all up, do all that. So that explains that. So then the 2 long ones then for sure are going to be going when we go down here, just because of their cable length. So, and that's what sucks about when you're doing this, is like, look, so when I just looped this wire, I didn't loop it around this one correctly, because these get looped together, and then those got tied together, and those got tied together, and this had the luminar wire coming down it, and that's why I had to undo it. So like this was like going here, so that's why we have this here and like this, and it seems like this one just gets a longer wire, but it just makes more sense with how much slack. And then once I bundle it all up and I'm wrapping it, there's not really, see, there's not even that much slack anymore. So that's kind of why I wanted to do the first pre-wire run, do that before I even went into any more nightmare of this. So, and then work our way around. Same kind of concept. And like I said, this is just loose wiring. We're just doing this so then that way we know, like this cable was like wild on how they had it running down. They had it like coming through here, underneath through here, it was connected to, and then it came up via the motor wire. So, kind of a pain. I'm not even gonna deny it. But yeah, so it like went like this, had the motor wire. I remember it went up like through here. You know, through the main hole, you know, and then obviously I have to re-clean what I just did because I just monkeyed it all up. I'll zip tie this all a bunch, and then it came down with the other wires inside here. So yeah, quite a bit of work, quite a bit of wiring. Like I said, I gotta clean this off a little better. There's no side that was really full of soda or something. There's some of the residue. I might be able to get it all off. I want to use brake cleaner and take the paint off. You know, it's my biggest worry. So, but we are gonna move on to laying them down. So, we're gonna put this on. It's RoadGlow. All of them that they give you are the same. So kind of go like this. I have no idea how smooth this will go. Hopefully I line it up right. But you gotta be careful here not to wreck anything. These are peeling. Alright. I'm gonna try to match it up more around this circle here. Just make that look clean. I have no idea if I'm tilting the right way or not. It's kind of scary. Oh, guess the big commit happened. Well, it looks real good. I'm pleased with that. That is right within the lines of everything. But yeah, scary. Always is. But there's that. So in that way, I'm able to get this wire here, so when I'm looping it all up, I can make it look neat and hopefully not put too much pull on this so this doesn't break. But that's why we were doing that. So the front two I'm laying down because you can't really get the wire depth correct. So kind of get a one-trick pony on that. Oh, crud. Look, peeled the wrong one. Alright, so I'm putting the front on because then I can get the wire length because it gets pulled by the pole and how everything's set up. There is a left and right side to these, so remember that. Like, you can't just like put this one on the other side. You know, the hole matches to where it matches. So I know the lighting might not be the best in this video, but let's see here. All comes down to how I feel like it's on that circle. I feel it's centered. Let's get a couple different angles. Looks damn near perfect. That matched up. Ooh. Let's see here, we can redo this. Oh, we got lucky. Something just didn't line up right. Looking back here, that looks better. That lined up better. There we go. That I am pleased with. Got lucky. Like I said, we'll probably take a light heat gun on it real low. But that way, now we have that done. Boom. Hopefully I didn't F it up. I don't think so. I didn't think it peeled too hard. So now we're gonna run the wire. So as we're looking here, we're gonna have to zip tie this here, and then there's a zip tie that was to the axle too. So I'm gonna put one little zip tie probably here as the initial hold. So then that way the plug doesn't get too much tension pulled on it during riding. Because you want to give it some leeway and some play. You know, you don't want everything to be so extra tight that it just starts snapping and shit. So you don't want that. So backs now, side we're doing of the RoadGlow. Remember, these are specific to each side. I cleaned this all off with rubbing alcohol beforehand. Try to get most of the residue off. Some nicks and scratches on it. So, let's see how this goes. Really comes down to how you line this circle, the initial circle. See, that's a little too. So careful, don't want to wreck it. So it looks like this one needs to go. See, it just doesn't seem like see how it's not lining up right. Well, we'll just line it up this way. There we go. It's a little off, but gotta remember, these things are probably not made precisely, but that looks really good. I'm very happy with that. Like I said, I'm gonna light heat gun these all at the end, probably real low temp, probably 200 degrees or less, something just to make it a little bit tacky. But that's why I tried to clean everything off beforehand. A clean surface is the key to the success of this. And then no air bubbles too. So, and that's how that is. And then you can see the new plug connector and how we're gonna style this. So we'll figure that out as we go. Move this big battery out of the way. It's the last one. Like I said, be careful. It's crazy how the branding, even in China, 3M is a big brand. So, just as an extra precaution, it says some rubbing alcohol on it yet. So, you know, it being clean is very important. And I scraped this all off before, and I really cleaned it. I'm just trying to do this, you know, it's leaving a little bit of residue from the paper towel, so I'm trying to wipe it off and not get skin oils on there. But I wiped my skin with rubbing alcohol before I started. I always try to. All right. So, good way to line it up is right here to the bend. Yeah, that looks good. No bubbles. And there we are. So we have it cleaned off. Kind of got an idea of how it's going to go. I'm assuming it probably just goes flush. You know, it's like, do you want it to the top here with a little underneath? Or I'm going to try to center it the best I can. Like that. So. Things always seem easier and relative. Gosh, I hate doing these kind of sticker stuff. Thing I'm wondering too, before I do this, let's put these on for a sec. Just get an idea, make sure I'm not. So it goes in there, and I think the cable was supposed to go through that. And then we have this front piece here. If I can get this stupid cable through. It needs to be a little bit lower apparently, but we'll deal with that as we go along. All right, and this is kind of what I was looking at, because I wanted to see here. The thing I'm wondering is, like, how's it gonna look? Since I make the commitment. All right, so looks like I have to to do this, there's going to be a little gap there. So the little gap's a little bit bigger there than here. So since we don't have it tight yet, is this as tight as it's gonna go? Yeah. Man, this is just not working. I'm just also a perfectionist. We're just gonna call it. I have no idea how to deal with this later on, but I'm assuming we're just gonna pre-fold it. I don't want to damage anything. I have no idea. But yeah, that's how you do it. Oh, dropping stuff. But that's that one side. But so I lined up each of these pieces to make it look good. So there we are. And on the other side, same thing. God, there's a bunch of like grass and shit in here. We're gonna first put these on to give us an idea. God, that was so dirty. And then this one, so then that way we have an idea of what we're trying to accomplish here, whatever it might be. I'll deal with that later. What is going on here? Let's not try to get all these. It's a stupid brake line. They made these brake lines way too short. There. I'm gonna have to check that after. All right. Peeled, cleaned this. Already wiped off it. So same kind of thing over here. I got experience on the other side. I'll take that. Peel this off because we don't want to wreck the final thing, because there's that little cut here just on the front and the back, and then that's where this goes through now. So they redesigned that. Like I said, I'm gonna take a heat gun on all this, real low temp, just get that extra adhesion, not try to melt anything. But there you go. It's the other side. Not really showing it, but I guess I'll just give you a little quick idea here so you can see. When you're doing this, you need to be extremely careful on the RoadRunner. The front one, I nicked it a little. I think it should be okay. But right here, this, see how it just got pinched? It gets pinched from this being tightened. So I hope this doesn't cause any issues, you know? You see that? So I figured it out. So when we're looking at the cable, the top side is red and then black on the side of the clip. Okay? And then you can see we have the new glow. So that's what it was. Now I'm going to do all of them. It's not too difficult. So they gave you these GST clips, and like I said, copy what I did. So here's the top side of the clip. You can see. Okay, there's little hooks on these things. You can see there's a little metal thing that's flaring out. you'll notice when you look inside here that there's actually a right side and bottom side. See how there's 1 and 2, it's labeled? So what I did is when I put them in on the other one over here, I did 1 and 2. So clip top side, red to the top. You're going to see how it goes in with the little clippies, because you'll push it in and it'll click. Then you're going to do it with the same one. Make sure you put it in the right direction, because if you don't, it won't click. If you don't, they'll pull out. See how they don't pull out? And then reattach to here. But you can see, oh, see how it popped out? Good thing that happened. So you can see that. You can see how it wasn't in all the way. So might not have been put in the correct direction. And then you can see there's no little metal flare here that needs to be peeled up. So make sure that's peeled up, otherwise it's not going to stick in there. So, but yeah, it's kind of tricky. They click in there. When they click, you'll see them. See how now it's in there? And then I always just try to make sure. But that's something that happens with these JST plugs. See how it popped out, but then boom. So make sure you watch that. Make sure that's in there with a metal little clip, and then you should be good. So I'm going to do all these, and then we'll show the next step after. Here's our temporary setup with all the wires. Key on, turn it on. And the backs works, side works, that works. Oh, I'm so happy inside, guys, because you just don't know when you're working with this fragile stuff. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Now it's just cleaning out the cables, a few other things. Oh, the RoadRunner and everything looks hot. So since the GoPro isn't the best at collecting this at night and getting the best image, I'll do it here in the evening. But see, glows now in the light from what the customer's telling me. No, it doesn't. See there? It looks pretty cool. So this is in a lit room. At night it'll probably rock. So you can see the new cable style, you know, how they're connected on flaps. But yeah, I'm happy with it. Took a lot more time than I anticipated, but I'm happy with it. Well, here's the updated glow. GoPro doesn't do the best at night, but it's a lot brighter from what the customer told me the original one was. I mean, we have original footage, but so looks kind of cool. Had to do this, so